Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of our Travel Talk series. I am Nirja, content and project executive with Trip 101, and I'm very happy to welcome you guys back to another episode of our Travel Talk series, which aims to bring experience from tour guides, local experts, property owners to help you decide which destination you want to go to and how to travel more efficiently there. So today we will go all the back to Europe. We'll be talking about one of the most beautiful capitals in the world, Stockholm, Sweden's capital. It has a unique geography as it's made of 14 islands and over 50 bridges. And our tour guide for today is Fayez, who has been taking tourists on a journey to see Stockholm and other Swedish cities for over 5 years. From his profile, I know he's also multilingual and he knows lots of different languages, and he ensures that his guests have the best experience possible. So hi, first, if you can introduce
Hello. Hey.
yourself and tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah, my name is Fayez, and I've been guide in Stockholm all the last 4 or 5 years, let's say. And then I studied about history and special Middle Ages. As you see, the background, which is the Viking. This is the land of the Viking, and how they were traveling the worlds, and they have a lot of mixtures with other nations. And Stockholm, it's the biggest city in the Nordic country. The Viking, matter of fact, we have to mention, they don't like to call them Viking. They love to call them Scandinavian. So
Uh,
that they call the land of Scandinavia. And Scandinavia, it's mean the Nordic people. Here in Stockholm, we are nearby the Arctic Circle. So when you come, prepare yourself, especially in winter, with the heavy clothes and very well prepared to see the sightseeings here from different time in Middle Ages. We have different type of buildings designs, and our weather, it's so cold winter time, but we are compensate that with the beautiful lights. We have a lot of designs, different type of design of the Nordic design of the light. You can see, especially because as now the daytime is very short. So then the Christmas light will be started in the beginning of the next month. So everywhere you will see here a light, a design of a moose. There's a light design in the shape of gazelle, here of reindeer, or different type, or heart, or cupid. So it's a brightening the city.
I was just admiring and saying, wow, it must be a sight to see. I've never seen
Yeah.
snow, so maybe one day during Christmas, I'd love to come to Stockholm.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's really fantastic. And the summer, it's a different type totally. It's a nature. There's water everywhere because Holm
Mhm.
has 14 island and 58 bridges. We have many islands, so people they enjoy the swimming in Baltic Sea, and our Baltic Sea is light salted, and people love to go from island to island. And we have about 24 to 30,000 islands spread over Stockholm with lengths of 150 kilometers. And there are about 1,100 islands out of those inhabited with 10,500 people. Permanently, they living there. So most of the Stockholmers in the summertime, they go to those islands as a resort. They have nice wooden houses. Our summer is short. Sometimes there's a rain in between, but the beautiful blossoming flowers all over. We have the winter experience with the lights and the buildings, and also with the in summer, we have a long day. In the 24th of June, it's our midsummer time. And then people, they are enjoying long day. The sunset is around 11:30 and the raise up between around 4 o'clock. So it's very short night in June. In December, the 24th of the night will be very long. We can compensate with more lights with design. Nordic design is popular
Yeah.
in many kind on clothes, on painting, on ladies' accessories. So it's a plenty of design.
All right, we'll be talking about these in more detail. Let's get started. Before we get to all the attractions and all the things that Sweden is known for, let's get logistics out of the way. Let's talk about how to get to the airport, from the airport to the city center, and how long the distance is.
To get in the airport, because I cannot keep them all in my head,
Yep.
the sometime we have 40 kilometers from the city. Arlanda is our main airport, about 40 kilometers from town. And we have many ways. We have the fast train, airport Arlanda train, one shot, meaning leave the airport to the city center. Don't stop on the way. This is a one-off. And there's other options. You can take a bus. There's a fleet bus, which is like cost the train, it costs 340 Swedish crown. And also some people they have their this app for Uber and other company. I cannot remember those. They have the
Yeah.
international application. Also they can take it. And also there's a taxis. It depends on the time of their arrival. The train, I think, sometimes doesn't run in the night, as I have it here. So Ireland Express, 18 minutes, you are in the city center. And as I say, 340 Swedish crown, it's about 30 US, about one way. It's in my opinion, the most efficient, fast, and comfortable, but depends of flight's arrival. And then you have the buses is running also, and also they have after midnight, they stop. I think they start early morning and next day. So then you will have those taxi. So taxi, if you could try first with Uber and Volt, they call it. I cannot keep all of them in my head. Anyway, but you can find it in 101 trip FACO and questions for more details. We have local buses, but this is, as I said, it depends of the arrival time. If you want the cheapest one, cheap, there's a local bus from Arlanda to a place called Mashta. And from Mashta, they can take this slow train. This train stop many times in the way to the city center. And that will not cost 39 crown. When you buy the ticket here, for is valid for 1.5 hours. Yes.
That's new.
Yeah. So you have enough time. And when you buy it from the bus in Sweden, we are the country of cash free. We don't, if you have 100 crown note and you want to change it, it's one of the most hard tasks because nobody have any papers. All of them in their credit card. The transport company, when you go in a bus or you go in a metro or you go in a boat, because the boat one of the transport, or a tram, there is a little window, a small window where you can scan your credit card and the machine deduct 39 crown from your, and it's the value like 4 US dollars to be more international. And like this parameter can give more significant than I say it in Swedish crown. Then the machine put a time in your credit card 1.5 hours. So during one and a half hour, you can use all those transport. That reason, if you are spouse or if you have a family, they don't accept to use the same credit card to pay for another guest. So because they put the time in individual time in the credit card. So meaning if someone with his wife or with partner or three people, let's say two people, so everyone have to use his own credit card. And the children under 12 is free. They really, our transfer is very effective because the strategy, the city of Stockholm, they want to have a pure, clear air away from the gas emission, urging people to use public transport. As a Swede, we receive a monthly fee because we drove our car in the city. Yes. So it's ecology, it's highly priority. And all our local, most local transport buses, petrol, and electricity, some pure electric, the tram, metro, train electric, no emissions and pollution come out of it. Only the buses, boat, even we have now electric boat
Wow.
because you can move, yeah,
Mhm.
between the islands. Even if you want a sea trip, use local transport, boat, sit on the high deck of the boat during sunny day, and enjoy looking to the islands and the boat moving from island to island. And this is the cheapest way to see if someone don't want to take, like we have many boat excursions. This is will be one affordable excursion for low budget people. But of course, it's not the same as a private excursion with more details from the airport. Or another way, you can reach Stockholm by boat from Poland, Estonia, or Finland. We have terminals. We have two companies, one Silja Line, one Viking Line. Is they are not cruise ships, they are ferry, but they are for people like cruise ships, but and ferry because they have a cargo for huge lorries. They go inside, and so they use them people to transport and to carry goods from a country to country. But this is, you could say, limited in Europe or from the people around the Baltic Sea. So when you come to airport, this is the options. As I say, the fast train or flyga bussarna. Bussarna, it means the bus, the airport bus they have, or the taxi also available, taxi available 24 hours. Or as I say, the cheapest, but they have to come on a working time to take the bus to the slow train. This is the cheapest way to get in the city if they have the time and they are not in rush. And they come in a time when those local transport are running. Many options to reach the city.
All right. So my next question for you now is, in case a tourist does want to drive around the city, maybe they want to plan day trips or anything else, so can they easily rent a car from airport or anywhere else? They
Yeah,
want to
you
visit.
need a driving license.
Mhm.
We have a many of renting cars companies. They could find it in FACO, frequent questions, and they are reliable and they can buy. And even if they don't want, they can hire a scooter. It's also electric scooters available in every corner in town.
That's great. Speaking of public transportation, are there travel passes tourists can buy to reduce the cost?
Yes, and we have 24-hour, we have 72, and we have
Mhm.
7 days. They can buy it. We have our local carrier or transport under the name SL. They can buy a card valid for 1 day, 24 hours, 3 days, or 7 days. This card will cost €2 or the value of €2 for the plastic itself. They can recharge it as much as they want. Hourly ticket by their own credit card. No physical paper. It's electronic, uploaded in their credit card.
All right. So now we're in Stockholm. Can you tell me some attractions tourists and locals love to visit in Stockholm?
The major attraction in Stockholm, it's Vasa Ship
Yeah.
Museum.
Mhm.
This is, of course, is not Viking. It's from Middle Ages,
Mhm.
but it has an important value for Swedish Navy. Then to feel that you are at a monarchy city, we have the Royal Palace. It's as a design of Baroque style and also Rococo furnitures inside. It's available for visiting time and there's opening, closing time. It depends of the season in the summer and winter. It's open all the year. And also then the old buildings, which is the old town.
Mhm.
And we have the designed churches and also there are different type of what we call it SOFO or Soho. the Bohemian style in South Island. The wooden house show you how it was the city in 17th century. And there's a plenty of bars and restaurants. They have a late opening until 2 a.m. So it's one of the famous dining part in the city. So there's a lot of attraction for people interested in art. We have many art galleries expressing contemporary art and also we could say beginning of the former century time art, and also there's a classical art and there's historical art. And we have the National Museum. In National Museum, there's more than 700,000 objects from Middle Ages until our time, almost until 80s, for applied art and design. And there's a lot of sculpture. So that National Museum need at least to specify for a brief visit 3 hours. And beside, we have many islands, as I say, 14 islands. We have Ship Island, also it's a charming island where there's also a museum of modern art, a museum, and there's some barracks where it was used to be for Navy students, but today some of them they are hotels. So you can feel in Stockholm some places outside of metropolitan city. Like we have in one of the island called South Island, a neighborhood only wooden houses. You feel yourself somewhere away from the city, but you are in the heart of the city. So that is the reason, yeah, the city of Stockholm keep those charm buildings to show how the people they were used to live in 17th century on the timber houses. And there are also a lot of activity. You can walk from island to island, see the garden, because Stockholm, third of the city water, the third of the city they are park and garden, and a third it's buildings.
Okay, all right. So you did mention a few churches, and I'm wondering if there's any dress code in general if anybody goes to those places. See.
It's open to everyone. We have Catherine Church, Katarina Kyrkan in Sweden, and Maria Magdalena Church. So people they visit the churches to see to understand about the value of the architectural design, whether Baroque or Gothic style. And then, of course, our church they are Lutheran Church and Protestant, and it's welcome to everyone to visit it. And but they have opening time, usually 11 o'clock till 5, 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. and welcoming everyone to visit it. And also we have a church in Old Town, the German church, and also the crowning church, meaning when the king been crowned, we have the monarchy church, but it's available as a museum as well and active church. We have a burial church for the monarchy in one of the island. They call it the island of nobility. We have a noble because Sweden is a constitutional monarchy. To feel that you are in the monarchy land, you expected a royal palace and a church where the king practiced their own prayers and also, and beside of it, when we talk for something to visit outside of Stockholm, we talk about the monarchy standards of
Are there any dress codes people need to take care of when they go here? Any particular way of dressing?
Sweden. It's a European country. It depends where you are going. You are going to an art gallery. You are not going to enter with your swimming suit. Yes. Art gallery, it need a decent dress as the people do. And also, when you go to a beach, you have a swimming top, and it depends where you are going. It depends what is the occasion.
Okay. On the attractions, I also want to ask if there are any hidden gems tourists don't know about, but you think they should.
A secret pathway or hidden pathway. We have the panoramic view in Fjällgatan. You can see some island out of those 14,
Okay.
and there's some beer because we are a country producing beer like Germany.
Yep.
And we have bars specifically serving Swedish beer under the name Lager. Lager, it's like a general name for many other factory like Lager, Falk, etc. Every owner adds some flavor or lack of flavor, but all of them sharing with that name. So this is a beer bar we have. And also those fish market, we have a fish market because we are a fish country. We're surrounded with water. We have 98,000 lakes as a freshwater and the Baltic Sea. We have this salmon fish and we have the herring, and there are some restaurants they develop as a fish soup from it, so they would adding many flavor to it. But because of that, we are surrounded with water. And also, this is, we call it like Södermalm Halli or Hall, Market Hall in Södermalm. And we have Hitoriet also, they call it the Hay Market, also fishing market, fish market beside it. We have reindeer smoked meat or the salmon smoked fish and also elk. It's bigger than reindeer. So
Okay.
this is mostly the local. There's an option. Also, beside of it, we have Vasastan, Norelman, the people who are interested in art, the facade of the building move between Baroque and Renaissance, and also there are a Jugend style. So, like you could say, French, Italian style with modified Swedish impact. So, where we call it national romantic style. So, those part of the city is for those 18th, 19th century buildings where have a specific facades. So there are many other places than regular touristic attraction. But this is depends of the time that you have to see more.
Okay, so now we know about some of the attractions in the city. Let's also talk about the neighborhoods. Are there any cultural or historical sites tourists should not miss?
My picture background is a rune stones, the Viking rune stone where they are writing their memory on it and different texts for different occasions from 10th and 11th century. We have the major attraction called Uppsala. It's about a fast train, less than an hour, and a slow train, 1 hour. You are in the city of Uppsala. First of all, is our university. It's mostly students who living there, university. And the attraction there, it's an old, they call it Gamla Uppsala or the old Uppsala. This is, you could say, the core of the cradle of the Viking temple, where today is converted to be a church. And there's talking about the Viking, and then you move to the castle of the city, where there's from Middle Ages, where started the Swedish monarchy, and also the dome, the big, huge church from early Christian Sweden, and then the botanist or the botanic garden. We have a famous scientist. He is the famous botanist in the world, Carl van Lien. And there is a lot of flowers from different type of flowers. This is part of the attraction. And beside the library, the Uppsala University with the Uppsala Library, those they are hundreds of years old. You can feel the classical Nordic style of building. One, also a Viking village called which is not far from the airport. You can see many rune stones and many old churches there and the shopping center. So those both cities, they are in the same region. They talk about the north of Stockholm, talking about the Viking. And in the south of Stockholm, we have the castle Gripsholm. In the south of Stockholm, which is the north of Stockholm, located on the third biggest lake called Maralen
Mhm.
in the north of Stockholm. And this castle also, it's talk about the beginning of establish of the
Yeah.
royal monarchy of Sweden in the south and located on the same lake.
Mhm.
So the lake, because 120 kilometers long.
Yeah.
So we have this an attraction. It's a castle, and there's a beautiful painting inside of the castle, show the monarchy beginning of life, authentic.
Mhm.
And if you want to feel the Sweden monarchy, the current monarchy where they are living, you can have like by a tram and bus in a journey of 35 minutes in a Drottningholm, the Queen Island, there where the king are living, king and the queen, because the one in the city is a work office. It's an office for the king and the queen. Where they are living, about 35 minutes from the city, it's a Queen Island. And there they have the palace, and next in the palace itself, part of it is a museum talking about the monarchy's wars and visitors who come to visit formal monarchy from other countries who visit this palace, and a garden, 60-hectare garden.
Wow.
It's a huge one. It's a Baroque and English garden and a first opera house. Matter of fact, this place, it's the first to visit outside of Stockholm. Then the Viking and the beginning of Stockholm as a kingdom. Those places, they are in need, like the ones in the north, they need full day. Each one, Sigtuna or Uppsala full day. Cripsholm also need full day, but half day for the where the king and the queen they are living because it's not far from the city. So those they can also an options. And beside we have Royal Garden. We have Haga Garden where Gustav III, one of the kings, he has a small palace, but the design is an English garden from his time with a lot of attraction. And we have also a garden in the south of Stockholm, which is a part of a cemetery, and it's registered in UNESCO. So for those people who love nature, they are nice place to walk in.
Yeah, it sounds good for senior citizens as well.
Yes.
Moving on, I'd like to know if there's any particular area known for nightlife with pubs and nightclubs.
Ah, yes, we have. In the South Island, matter of fact, we have many bars. We have nightclubs in South Island because South Island is very famous in Stockholm that
Okay.
they are opening until 2 and some of them up to 5 a.m.
Mhm.
Those nightclubs. They are available in Farco. So if I mention a name, the other they will be sad. So I don't want to make all of them because we have many good of them.
Mhm. Okay, now a lot of tourists sometimes they also need to look for places to visit to stay when they're in the city, like hotels and Airbnbs and stuff. So, is there any particular area within Stockholm famous for lots of hotel options?
First, let's mention Scandic hotels. Scandic is Nordic because of
Mhm.
from Scandinavia. Those they have flavor and satisfaction to everyone. They are not so cheap, they are not so expensive. And the most tradition that they have, their breakfast, it's a big breakfast. Sometimes you don't need lunch
Mhm.
to have after it. Scandic, they are famous with their hospitable style, affordable, and also their room, it's very nice. And then we have those little boutique hotel,
Mhm.
meaning they have a house from Middle Age and they renovate it and they make it what we call it in good shape, and they have every room different than the other room, like every room, yes, because in old houses
Mhm.
the size of the room they are not the same like today. So every room they make a special flavor and taste and furniture different than the other room. Like a small hotel in a small hotel.
Unique.
And beside, they have a wonderful Swedish breakfast. They have a lot of cuisine and could serve other type of food, whether it's ethnic or intercontinental. And also we have those international chain, Marriott, we have Sheraton Hotel. So we have those chain as well. Depends of the people. And also we have Airbnb in the South Island. There are many apartments available and easy to be founded in the Google. They are pop up immediately and they are available. And she rent one of those Airbnb, and the price about 70 square meter. This is an example. It's not specific. Can be change. 24,000 Swedish crown, 2,400 about US dollar a month. Yeah, for that apartment, three rooms and a kitchen and everything furnished. So this is a kind of sale, but also this price can move between 1 week or 2 weeks for people who depends what they are looking. And also we have youth hostel. Youth hostel you can rent and a bed with about 200, like a 24 euro or 25 euros a night. But yeah, alcohol is not cheap as, yeah, I have to mention, it's not as cheap as another European city.
Okay. So you mentioned breakfast. So let's talk about food now. What
Yes,
is some of the most famous local dishes or food in Stockholm people should try?
fish is the main. We have fried herring from Baltic Sea, smoked salmon from the lake, and reindeer stew served with mashed potato and lingonberry. And we have also something with pork, potato and pork. And we have the American, they are not the first people who found hot dog.
Yes.
The hot dog is a pure Swedish. Yes,
Very controversial.
it's a pure Swedish hot dog. So, and they have different meat. They have a chicken meat or they have a beef meat or, and the famous Swedish meatball. Meatballs, let's be frankly, one of the monarchy in around of 18th century lost a war in front of Russia. You see how the food connected with politics, geopolitics. So he went seek as a refugee to where? To Ottoman Empire, the other enemy of Russia, because Russia was fighting the Ottoman Empire to control the Black Sea and the Kingdom of Sweden to control the Baltic Sea. That king went to the Ottoman and he loved the Turkish meatballs. So he get the recipe and he come back with it to Sweden, and then they modify it according to Nordic taste. We have lamb meatballs, reindeer meatballs,
Mhm.
fish meatballs. And remember, here the country now with the fashion, we become vegan, a vegan meatballs. And the weird one, a bear meat meatballs.
Wow, I've never heard of that before.
I didn't expect it, but one of the restaurant they put it in their menu. So people, for example, who is vegetarian, who is vegan, they are in correct place in Stockholm. Even we have a vegan society.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So talk about some famous restaurants and food markets. You can also give us recommendations if you have any favorite restaurant.
Yeah, favorite. We have a really, I feel it, an authentic meatballs restaurant called Billington.
Mhm.
They have really quality meat. And also a fish soup in Kaisa restaurant in Haymarket. That is also a stunning. And also we have a lot of nice restaurants, I should say, because yeah, I mentioned that name of this restaurant or that one. They are really so famous and popular. But we have four Michelin restaurants
Wow.
that you need to to book in advance under the name Francine. We have fish, many Stockholm fish restaurants also, the fish market. But those, they have a specific time. They are not available. After 6 o'clock, they close. They open from 10 till 6. So mostly lunch area, lunchtime. But for dining, they have to go to other restaurants, mostly, as I say, in South Island.
Perfect. I also want to know if there are any convenience stores, like grocery stores, that any person can stop by if they need some essentials.
As I said, we are the country of design, art and design. So for ladies, we have now famous accessory brand called Aid Blood. There you find necklaces, some of them very light gold, some of them metal, but the design of it. And that is a really pure Swedish. And then furniture, as everybody know, IKEA. But we have a specific local one, like they have high standard furniture and only one gallery in Stockholm. We have this West Long Street in the Old Town. It's a lot of souvenir can be tourist or the guest can find it, like the horse, wooden horse. We have the king, Gustav Vasa. He came on horseback to liberate Sweden from Danish occupation. So then nowadays in the market, we find big size horse, small size horse, little toy horse, and with many colors. I don't know if he come back, that king, and see how many horses glow. So the horse. And then there's the design of the Viking. There's a specific shop, they can find it there. And also some other glass design in Stockholm also that can be found.
All right, perfect. I wanted to know about the food section, if there are any food delivery apps like Uber Eats or something popular.
Absolutely. We have Uber, Fedora here. The hotel restaurants close at 8 o'clock. In case if somebody arrive and hungry, they can download Fedora app or Uber app and order from their cuisine, and the delivery come to the hotel.
I also wanted to know if tap water is safe to drink in Stockholm, because in many countries it's not.
Remember, in Sweden, we have 98,000 fresh water lakes. And the main rock in Sweden is granite. That meaning our water, it's mineral and drinkable. So I always recommend it to my guests, buy a little bottle of water to use the plastic to refill it. If, in case they don't have their own bottle, so they can buy a bottle of water. It's safe and clean and mineral.
Yep. Last question on food. Are there any grocery stores particularly available in Stockholm that maybe that's open 24/7 and tourists can go if they want to buy something, buy a snack or something like that?
Yes, we have our local Max snack. You can find, we have this little rye bread with the mixed shrimp and till. They call it skogen. This is people, they buy it. And also we have this fika, which is cinnamon or cardamom buns. Can be the first one salty, this is sweet. Also, there are many, matter of fact, they can buy it from bakery, but the bakery, some bakery they close at 6, some bakery they close at 8. So they have to be when they want to buy it, or they could find a small bite in the in the hotel reception fridge. They sell also 24 hours. It's available. And
That's
also, as I said, we have Max. It's our local McDonald's, Max. Those Max, they open until 3 a.m.
okay. All right. So a lot of food options.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Let's move on to another section now. So sometimes because of the weather difference, maybe a tourist might come to Stockholm and fall sick. Are there good healthcare facilities for tourists in the city?
Yes. We have a lot of medical facility, 24 hours. So if somebody gets sick, They could go, if they are in a hotel, could arrange for them transport, or if they could ask any taxi if there are something happened in the night, or if it's happened during the day, it's easy to reach emergency sections. And we have a number 1177. This number, they can get medical advice, or if they are really in emergency, they could recommend them how to get to the clinic or to
Okay.
the health center or to the hospital. So
Perfect.
1177, it's important. Also, another number 112, also that is works for get a medication. Now, about people who come with their medication to the country, it will be checkable by our custom.
Mhm.
So here we have many pharmacy. So if they can bring their own medicine prescription and they could get their medicine from the pharmacy, it's handy.
Perfect. Besides the medication, is there anything else that tourists cannot bring to Sweden?
Drugs prohibited in the country,
Mhm.
and there's a penalty for it. So we don't have this kind of issue in the city.
My next question is the city, I know it's a European city, so the answer would probably be positive, but just in case, can solo travelers or female travelers be safe when they're in Stockholm?
Stockholm in general is safe, but you have to be cautious on your
Okay.
property. Like, for example, you follow your feeling, like to
Mhm.
give him your camera to take a picture. Maybe take a picture and run away with it. Should be to be cautious, protect your property.
Mhm.
We have pocket police and civil police. It's hard for them to go with it. So it's very well protected. Attraction sites, museums, so all they are controlled. We have cameras everywhere. So it's safe, but also it doesn't mean that the tourist should show everything that he has, like open shop. No, they have to also protect themselves, probably. And people, they are wise enough to know about those measures. But in general, it's safe country to around.
Are there any neighborhoods tourists should avoid?
In the city, no, but only some countryside places, which is not so welcome to outside of the city to go by after midnight. Outside the city. In the city, it's totally secure, totally safe. Anytime you can walk, no problem. Even 2, 3 a.m., no problem. But outside the city, meaning like 14, 15 kilometer out of the city skirt, some places is not so welcome to walk there during after midnight.
Another aspect that is very important to tourists these days is Wi-Fi. A lot of tourists come on a working holiday. So tell me about the Wi-Fi
Yes,
situation.
we have a local company. You can buy SIM card to get internet. And most of the public places, free Wi-Fi, like shopping malls,
Mhm.
free Wi-Fi. But just you need to sign in and to register yourself and their Wi-Fi. In a hotel, free Wi-Fi, most of the places. But if they need coverage for Wi-Fi during their movements, we have a company sell SIM card with available gigabytes in it. And they
Very
can find
convenient.
it in our frequent question for more specific details.
All right, great. So we're almost towards the end. The things that I wanted to ask you now is how long do you think tourists should plan a trip to Stockholm? The duration, maybe 2 weeks, 2 days.
Is as much as you are early in your plan, as much service you get, especially in the peak of the season,
Mhm.
might be there's many things will be not available. So the best like 6 months in advance to prepare to your trip, you can get a cheap price and everything available and avoid the peak of season, like when we have school holidays from 15th of June till 15th of August. If you come before or after is the best. But if you come during those week of holiday, you have at least to plan 6 months in advance or 1 year in advance your trip, so you can get what services available and cheap. But if you come like in this time, sometime you cannot find a room in a hotel. You have to go outside of the city and looking for other parts, other hotels.
Okay. And how long should they stay in Stockholm? Is 2 days enough to see everything?
Stockholm is full. It's a bouquet of flowers, and there's a lot of flowers to smell. And then you have museums.
Mhm.
If you want a brief visit, you need 1 full day.
Mhm.
If you want a little bit more understanding, 2 days. If you want full, 3 days. So it depends what would they would like to see. If very brief, 1 day.
All right. Are there any other events or festivals in Stockholm during which tourists should come to see the city?
Festival and events we have including jazz festival,
Mhm.
we have midsummer celebration, we have carnival of lights. This is in the Christmas time. We have different design of lights, and there's sometimes some food fair we have also in summer, and we have it in the spring as well. They announce it on the city website, sometimes Stockholm, and yeah, that is so popular festivals. That's what we have in Stockholm.
All right. One last question before we wind up is that in some countries, the US comes to mind when I speak of this, where you have to mandatorily tip people, your waiters, your tour guides, you have to tip them. But is that the same in Stockholm, or you don't have to tip people?
Tipping is not obligation, of course, but tipping is goes in a range between 5 to 10%.
All right. I think we talked extensively about Sweden, Stockholm today, and got a lot of insights from you about how to travel there. So thank you so much for all your tips and all your expert advice. I'm sure that
Thank you.
tourists will find it very useful.
Yes. And thank you very much for this interview. And for more details, they
Mhm.
can come back to 101 FACO, frequent asked questions. So they found more details about what we are talking. I hope we will have more people to Sweden, more
Sure.
ambassador to Sweden.
Thank you so much. And thanks
Thank
to
you.
everybody watching. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
with more exciting interviews and travel talk. Stay tuned
Yes.
and thank you.
Thank you very much.